Welcome to the second video on the first Skylords Reborn Community Challenge, Into the Jungle. This time, as promised, now the fastest submitted two-player run, played by myself, LEBOVIN, and Pritstift. If you want more information about the challenge or the map itself, check out the previous video and the video description. So now let's get right into it. There we go. So let me first show you the decks. As always, keep in mind that due to the limited deck slots, you have to make a choice what eventually makes it into the deck. And yeah, so I'm playing on position 2, Pritstift is playing on position 1. For the map goals, just as well, check out the other video. So Pritstift starts with Shadow Tier 1, I start with Nature Tier 1, and contrary to the last video, I also use the green Dryad, which has the advantage that she disables the Mark of the Keeper's aura. She herself cannot do anything, but all other ranged units actually can attack, and that obviously speeds it up. We also included the red Snapjaws, which increase damage taken also for buildings by 50%. Pritstift already luring out the next guy, because here's the healing well. And opposed to the other video, now actually the ranged units can attack as well. Blue Dryad, again reducing the damage everybody takes. And the Shaman switch between heal and attack as necessary. And now we move on to the next camp. First taking out the healing well, because otherwise these units won't die. And to save time, Pritstift already lures out the next camp. And now, while he deals with these units, I take out the Roof Spirit, because she reduces the damage she can deal because of the CC. Notice that the Dryad is actually a little bit bugged in this map and is not doing anything, hence we just keep her there, so no more units will respawn because the wave is not yet cleared fully. And now he walks in, I try to heal, but it's fine if he loses one, which he does in this replay, so he can take up the well in time. The others I make sure to keep him alive. And yeah, now we have all the time in the world to kill the spawn because the Dryad is still alive. There we go, actually let me speed this up a little bit. And at last we kill the Dryad, so now fits perfectly for the well. Now everybody's getting healed back up, and
Dreadcharger's ready.
Now we just skip the next camp, hence he lures them out. And all the slow units are grouped here, so now we root them, and now they kind of lose their combat status once we're out of reach. And we just walk through the Mark of the Keepers, because we have the Dryad, she can enable our units even to fight here on the edge. The green Dryad also disables the poison damage of the archers there. Let me speed up again, because this just takes some time to kill the camps.
Dreadcharger's ready.
There we go. And this time I am the one approaching the next camp, because the ranged unit, my ranged units can attack the healing fountain here. And these strangleholds root with an extreme frequency, so that the Dreadchargers wouldn't get in range. Yeah, that's why I walk in first. Hurricane to keep these units distracted and reduce the damage we take. And yeah, now focus fire a little bit here, get everything cleared rather quickly. You see those, they just stay in place. These two went back, that one just stayed. It's different a little bit each time. And now everybody gets healed back up to full HP. And then we already get to the next camp. Here you have to kind of dodge the shot of the Razor Leaf. So it hits right between the fast and the slow units. And yeah, now motivate, increase the damage, everybody can attack because of the Dryads. I will use here a heal to make sure that nobody dies. Never know exactly what's gonna happen, but it worked out quite well. And yeah, now just clear the rest of the camp. We should have already built now the Embalmer's Shrine because it has a long initial cooldown. So that it's ready once he has the orbs. There we go. Now we both pick up the orbs. Just have to get enough energy. And now it's important that Pritstift manages his power very well. And in order to already get stuff in the void and flowing back, he's gonna use the ability of the Dreadchargers. So they kill the units. And he gets this excess HP. It also makes these two Dreadchargers take less damage. Meanwhile, once the orbs are finished... oh wait, he took a Frost Orb and a Shadow Orb. He doesn't need a Frost Orb right now, but it will come into play later. I, on the other hand, took a Shadow Orb, which I don't immediately use either. But I do build the Breeding Grounds, and I will build another one over here with the Green Dryad. With the Blue Dryad, sorry. The Green Dryad stays here because we need her to enter the range of the Mark of the Keeper. And once again, disable its ability, so ranged units can attack. And in this case, you guessed it, because there's the Embalmer's Shrine, it's gonna be Shadow Phoenix. Once again, using the ability to take the HP. Because of the deck slots, I'm just gonna suicide my units here for his Void return. And now he's getting more and more Phoenix coming in. There we go. And now the Green Dryad heads in with the blue one, taking down the camp, which gets those to put all their plate bound power into the void of Pritstift. Now we actually kill those in range of the Furnace of Flesh, which means he gets the power back and can spawn even more Shadow Phoenix, which are then going to be unbound on the next camp. Everybody picks up the well here, and I keep sacrificing here units so he gets more void power back. The Dreadchargers he still needs as his own ground presence, as those Phoenix are only flying around. And once he has enough, we both destroy the buildings here. There we go. Now he has enough. And there's already one here, so he can do it next spawns here. I get my ground presence as well, which I will need. And now he uses this one to tank up the shots. Sometimes he gets hit, to make sure that none of the Phoenix actually die. Embalmer Shrine gets activated, and big Crash Dive instantly wipes out the entire camp. Now I start walking up with my slow Dryads to the next camp over here, because once again, Mark of the Keeper needs a Green Dryad. And once he has his units, the Breeding Ground is no longer needed. Those get rooted in place, but it doesn't matter. I just spawn on the edge the Green Dryad, so those can Crash Dive. And now they get all voidless as well. This one didn't want to dive. Gonna dive now. And yeah, now he has a lot of Phoenix. I think he will spawn another one. I, on the other hand, have 3 Dryads of each kind and changed their ability already, so they can attack, because I can no longer swap them when they're within the Mark of the Keeper. And now we lure out the units here a little bit. The Phoenix are gonna Crash Dive and once again wipe out the entire camp. See, I had to spawn quite a few of them because they all get damaged, some die, and yeah, this one sadly didn't die, otherwise this one would have been dead already. And yeah, now I already swapped the Dryad, so I can hit those. We rooted the respawns of the Abyssal Water, so same thing as over here, so they ignore us and we don't have to deal with them. Pritstift already takes the well, gets the Snapjaws again, quickly take out the rest here. I take the well as well. There we go. And the next camp, also again, I get my Dryads ready, so we never lose that necessary buff they have to prevent the Mark of the Keeper. Phoenix Crash Dive again. And now we just oink those, so he can safely dive again, also making sure that he hits the buildings. We both have to make sure that at least one ground unit survives. There we go. I can immediately pick up the orb, and he should very soon have the power as well. Yeah, there he goes. He will build a construction hut, and then right afterwards the orb. There we go. And those are all voidless, so we can use them to actually grant us void power back using the Furnace of Flash. The construction hut is used, of course, to lower the cost of all buildings that are going to be spawned here. Yeah, he separates them already, so I only get 3. That's fine. I wait until the construction hut is finished. And there we go. 2 Shadow Orbs for both of us, because we both need to build Furnace of Flash and Cultist Masters. Pritstift builds the Incredible Mow, because if you activate the yellow, the ability, the Benevolent Mow, then actually these towers are no longer rooting. Not the living towers, sorry. The Strangleholds. Yeah, we both get Cultist Masters now. He sacrifices them, so I get the energy for them. He builds a Mutating Frenzy, Mow, and I build 2 Healing Gardens, which again have to be built first because of the long initial cooldown. You can already activate that to get the power back. And now he has to swap his orb. He no longer needs the 2 Shadow Orbs, but instead we'll build here the Nature Orb again, and yeah, never mind, he will swap it later, I'm sorry. So now I start walking with the Steep Curve Worm through these camps, pretty much ignoring them, because these towers do not root me because of the mow. And it has to be said that it sometimes can get pretty messy with the Deep Curve Worm, because if he gets into places where there's a Mark of the Keeper and many units, it tends to get stuck, and that can be lethal for the worm when he no longer moves. So Pritstift is now changing his orb again, because he will use his energy to keep the frenzy alive, while I use my energy mostly to keep the worm alive. And therefore he will spawn shamans here and try to use them plus the proximity aura of the healing gardens to keep the mutating frenzy alive. And right afterwards he will have to swap the orb again to have other spells available. So now he will get the shamans step by step. So I also have to buff the worm all the time with Unholy Power and Life Weaving. Pritstift is doing this as well. We alternate a little bit. See, sometimes the worm dives down and then gets massive damage, so you have to always be ready to heal it. Using the Healing Garden makes this a lot better, because then heals are twice as strong. So now I go in to a certain point, lure them back out, because those would CC me otherwise, so I have to make sure the units clump up here in front of the Mark of the Keeper, so I can use Frenetic Assault and then move through. See, there he gets a little bit stuck, but luckily he managed to free himself and move on to the next camp. Again, healing all the time. On the other hand, Pritstift has now enough of those, making sure that they do not heal the Cultist Masters. And yeah, in the meantime, we sometimes have to use Offering here on the side to have the Frenetic Assaults ready again. So he gets a Fire Orb, so he can disenchant the worm, because sometimes there are spells that are inevitably gonna hit it, and thus we need the disenchant and other spells. So Frost, Shadow, Fire are gonna be his final orbs. I keep Shadow and Nature, and you notice we skip this, so we play both with tier 3 entirely, which of course saves us on the first place a lot of energy, and secondly makes us a lot faster. So we keep going. See, there's the Viridia, which sometimes uses CC spells. This camp is pretty strong, but he works out. He keeps stacking the Frenzy and heals it, of course. Next camp, same thing. Frenetic Assault again, because this one would be a big problem. And now those sometimes cast freezing spells, so there will be a preventive green Disenchant. See, there it is. This time they cast the fire spell. And now a lot is going on, because here you take a lot of damage, so you have to time the war perfectly to dodge the first round. Now it gets very, very low. Now the Frenetic Assault in time. Then it gets kind of warped again over there, and you use the Frenetic Assault on the tower, so the units stay in place. Pritstift uses the Protector Seal, so the units furthermore do not leave the area, because they keep fighting that tower. And now I go over here and hit that Shrine of Memory, which will lure out those units. And the reason why I destroy this is to prevent the worm getting stuck in here with the Mark of the Keepers and the Group Spirits, and making sure I can Frenetic Assault those over here as well. See, now once the Shrine of Memory is gone, I can walk through this with the Deep Core Worm without the risk of getting too stuck. I already built a tunnel at the beginning here, so this will enable the Frenzy to walk through the tunnel and exit through the Deep Core Worm's ability. Now I walk here on the side around, which will eventually attract those, of course. All the time, Cultist Masters have to give us back the void, so this is also a little window where you can do that. Now Pritstift uses Coldsnap, and because the Forest Elder has not the best leader immunity, I'd say, it still gets frozen, and it's also affected by other CC. So this gives us some time, because we don't have any tier 4 like green piece, so I can go into the tunnel mode and switch this to the exit. So now Pritstift uses, there are already so many buffs on this thing, but he will use multiple spells on the Mutating Frenzy. There we go, Unholy Power, sorry, Unholy Hero is tier 4, to reduce the self-inflicted damage, teleports it through here, and the Forest Elder still has this debuff, so, and also see there, it uses his spell to CC the Frenzy as well, and that's why Pritstift brought... I can't show it? No, I can. That's why he brought Disenchant and also Warrior Staff to prevent the Frenzy to get CC'd again. And yeah, once the freeze ends, he puts Frostbite on the Forest Elder to increase the damage the Forest Elder take. I use Blood Healing on the Deep Core Worm to transfer its HP constantly to the Mutating Frenzy. And yeah, once he uses Disenchant, he hits the Forest Elder 2 times, something about 22 stacks. Frenetic Assault, because there's so many, second hit, and that concludes the replay. Yeah, I hope you liked it. Was a long journey to come up with this strategy, many alternations and variations, but eventually this worked out well. And yeah, see you in the next video.